Morning, everybody. I put a short video up about getting out here and digging these holes yesterday, and I'm glad I did, because once I got motivated, got out here and got after it. All 4 of them are done, man. That's the last 4. It doesn't seem like much, but for me, when I've done these other 5, and I started this last fall with that far back one, I got my apple cider vinegar and water this morning. So I dug 5 here, but then I've dug those 2. I dug the whole dog pen, all the fences posts around there, plus the posts for the dog shed. I dug all the post holes for the shower. I dug 6, 7, 8 post holes for the shed. I do still have to do an awning off of that. I've got some extra metal and wood, so I'm gonna do an 8-foot awning. But right now, this cabin is the bigger deal. Anyways, I've dug a lot of holes. So this being the last real one, at least until this cabin is framed in, then I do have to do a porch here. So let me back up a little bit. There's going to be an 8-foot by 16-foot porch, basically where all this shit's sitting right now. But the cabin, getting a roof over me, having a place where I can at least go inside if there's a tornado coming, because this will be built solid enough where I won't be worried, whereas being in that camper, it's sketch at best. Actually, this time of year, I've actually gotten to where when bad storms come up and I'm not sleeping, I go into the shed, because the shed is even though it's open on one side, it's safer than being in that camper. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I decided to live here, so it is what it is. But holes are done. That's fucking awesome. Next step is my form broke, so I have to rebuild this, which is no big deal. I reused some lumber out of a demo job I did for that, so I'm pretty surprised. It made it through 5 of these before I was hammering it off this last one here, and it started falling apart. So that's not something you want to happen when you've got 6 bags of concrete and then your form starts falling apart. So it's just worth it to me to build a new one, but also I'm probably going to build 2 of them. I was trying to find my hands. Because, sorry, there's a 4-wheeler. Can't tell if it's coming up this way. My dogs are out. Lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm supposed to have a buddy coming up from Texas this weekend, or at some point. He hasn't really told me for sure when he's coming or how long he's for sure going to stay. So it's not even guaranteed. But if he does make it out here and I have 2 forms, then I can pour 2 a day, because they'll dry up enough in one day. And it'll take me and him about, all together, probably, I'd say maybe 6 hours. So 3 hours one day doing 2 of them, and then 3 hours another day doing 2 of them. And whereas by myself, man, just unloading the concrete and getting it over where I need it and then getting it mixed takes me about an hour. So it adds up, and you got to do 7 or 8 bags per hole, depending on how the land sits, because I'm trying to level it out. But so that gets pretty tough by yourself. I did these other 5. I did the concrete shower floor, and I did all the posts around here. That was all concrete too. So it's been a lot of concrete and a lot of holes. It's kind of funny that I might have help for my last 4, but it's definitely appreciated, because I'm getting tired of wrestling 80-pound concrete bags by myself while I'm trying to mix with a drill, or I've been using a drill for the last couple, but that's why you see on these, they're all covered in concrete, and I spilled way more of it trying to use a wheelbarrow. This one was the same way. The rest of these that aren't so bad like that, these 3 in the middle I did with a drill and this mixer here. I prefer that method, but it's definitely easier with 2 people. So, forms today. Hopefully next weekend I'm getting these footers poured. Sorry, it's noisy out here this morning. It's not normally. It's catching my attention. My dogs are out, so I don't want them to run off and go chasing after somebody. They're pretty good about that, but I usually gotta holler at them at least once. What else today? Oh, well, I went to get a shovel. Oh, that's a good point worth bringing up, man. I went to get a shovel yesterday, and for the farm store is usually open on Saturday. Today's Sunday. And that yellow shovel, the farm store was closed, so I went to Dollar General, and it was the last one they had, and it was only $12, man. That Cobalt shovel from Lowe's, that was $40. I've had that one forever, so I don't even remember what it cost, but $12. And I was pretty sure, I mean, it was the only place open, and I needed a shovel because that flat one is a pain in the ass to dig in these rocks and stuff. So I needed a round tip shovel, and I lucked out, bought their last one, but I assumed at $12 and coming from Dollar General that I was probably going to break it, especially going through all these roots, like the second hole or something. And it made it through all 4, and it's still together. It's a little wiggly already, but man, I can add some duct tape to that and it'll keep it from like shaking itself loose. So FYI, Dollar General's tools, they at least passed a full day with me. So for $12, that's not terrible. The other shit I got to do today is when I got home from buying that shovel, I realized, oh, my car's got a flat. Living on these dirt and rock roads, this happens to me about once a year. A big rain will come through and turn up all the gravel, because it'll kind of get like a creek. It'll turn up all the gravel, and then when I'm driving the car, there's a bunch of flint and sharp rocks, and it's usually not a problem once everything's been driven through, but after big rains, I've noticed I usually have to deal with a pop tire. So I'll be hopefully able to patch that today, because it's Sunday, so hopefully I can, I don't know, tomorrow's my birthday, but I kind of need to go to work and make some money, or I could sit around and ride the 4-wheeler. I haven't decided yet. A lot of it's going to hinge on that tire because it's Sunday. And if I can't patch it myself, well, there's nothing I can do until tomorrow anyways. And if I'm dealing with that tire, I'm probably not going to go to work. So, at any rate, oh, there's one more thing going on here. I don't make these long videos very often, and I'm kind of changing the way I do things. I'm going to be doing reels. I'm probably going to start experimenting with TikTok a little bit, because I'm noticing through the day, and like to get myself out there a little more, people are using reels more. And it makes sense because it's short. You don't have to get involved in a story. Like this is already going on for almost 9 minutes, and I'm just explaining stuff. So like when you're on lunch break at work, I understand that like you don't have fucking 10 minutes to watch me talk about building concrete forms. But for my family and the people trying to keep up with me, what's going out here, or anybody that wants an in-depth explanation, this is where you're going to have to come for it, because it's hard enough to load a reel on Facebook out here in the country. It takes almost a full day for a video to load, and it's not really worth it to me at this point to even put stuff on there. Like, you can come check shit out on YouTube if you want to see the long version. Other than that, it's just going to be little snippets. But anyways, this is the Jeep Cherokee. I did get the power steering fixed in this thing. I bought this last year actually for my birthday, and I knew it needed power steering and a CV axle. So my first problem was I bought the CV axle, and man, this thing's been sitting here long enough for vines to grow in it. I bought the CV axle, and I didn't notice that my buddy that sold that to me had put locking lug nuts on there. Well, they're not locking. It just takes a special socket that I didn't have, and I couldn't find it in the Jeep. So I ordered one once I finally figured out what I needed and got the tire off of this. And now I need this size, which I'm not 100% sure on. I looked it up. I measured it with a tape measure, and it's about 1.5 inches, which the closest millimeter to that is 38. Honestly, in the future, my plan is to start flipping vehicles. I'm not flipping any of these because all of these serve a purpose. I've got the Jeep, that's 4x4. It's a V8, so it's my biggest engine that I own. I can drive it in the snow. I can pull my trailer with it. I can do a lot with that, but it's a gas guzzler, man. And I can have a little fun in it too. It drives like a dream. Got the zipper, the gas saver. It's a 2.2. The parts are cheap for it. It does get a little worn out on these dirt roads, but I mean, it saves me so much money in gas driving back and forth to work. Round trip for me to get to work and back is 120 miles. So then there's this guy, my dad's old Ford, Betsy, pickup truck, holds tools, toolbox, you know, I'm loaded down with everything. Come on, Ryobi, sponsor me. I got all your shit. Let's see. I'm not trying to give you a tour of the truck, but this pickup it's not real powerful. It doesn't tow a lot. It's just a baseline pickup. It's more sentimental, and just old school. No rust, no anything on it. It was in Texas its whole life. So this is kind of a restoration slash, it's my work pickup. When I need to pick up material, when I need to haul a ladder, you know, I use this, but for the most part, man, it's the car. So that's, these aren't getting sold, but in the future, I would like to, I'll eventually put a shop out here, and especially when I get older and I get sick of driving to Springfield to do construction all the time, because like once things are built out here, I'm honestly going to get sick of doing that. I've been doing construction for 15 years. Yeah, I'm turning 34. I started doing construction when I was 18. It's round about 15 years. So I love it. I don't mind doing it out here, but honestly, I'm getting to the point where like when I wake up and have to go build other people's shit, it's just so hard to motivate myself to want to do that. But if I can work on cars here at my own place, and it's still hard work, it keeps my hands busy, it's stuff I like doing, plus I get to drive a bunch of different cars. I've already got the ones I need, so the next time I see a good deal, it will probably be for that reason. I'll go through it, clean it up, fix anything that's broken that I can fix, kind of run it through some tests, see if the suspension's doing right. With these dirt roads, I can, you know, fix stuff that's going to break and then give somebody a decent car. Because I hate that I hear all these people knocking on used cars, and I get that not everybody's mechanically inclined and not everybody has the tools that I have. So I guess it's kind of me looking to help some people out. Like, I don't want to become a used car salesman that like has a bunch of fucking cars all the time and they're all pieces of shit. I'm just trying to make money. If I could get something like this Cobalt, run it through the ground, you know, go through, test everything, fix everything that's like was easy to break, I think that would just be a cool way to do it, because most of the time parts are cheap and I could probably buy something like that. Anyways, the business plan on it doesn't matter. ADHD right there for you. I do eventually want to flip cars though. So when I have to buy the socket for that, I was trying to remember how I got there. When I have to buy the socket for this Jeep, this 38 millimeter or whatever, it's not a big deal that I'm not sure. That guy. It's not a big deal that I'm not sure, because I need to get the whole set anyways, because in the future I intend on working on stuff. Man, sorry it took me so long to get that out. I really don't like editing videos, and sometimes I go on a tangent. So that's about as long as I need to make this. I haven't done a long update video in a while, so I just wanted to kind of touch base on everything. The dogs are doing good. Sugary's up at about 8 months now, and Ripple is about 8 years old, man. He's getting old and fat and slow, but he's still kicking. Anyways, I appreciate y'all tracking it out. Like I said, here shortly I'm going to be experimenting with TikTok, putting some stuff on there, seeing how I like that. I've heard a lot of good and I've heard a lot of bad. One of the things that I'm struggling with this is I see a lot of people doing the same thing as me who are they're literally just working on their property, but they found a way through this to get paid for it. And that was never my intention when I started this, but one of the things I'm learning also is that Facebook it's really hard to get any money from Facebook. Like, you can have somebody watch your stuff 100,000, 400,000 times, and then they still really don't want to pay out. They just want to give you ads. I'm still trying to learn the ins and outs of this, but one thing that I'm hearing good things as far as payment is TikTok. Like, they like paying the people that make content on their stuff because you can take that money and then make more content, which keeps people using them. And when that was explained to me, well, I'm kind of slow on technology, man. I had MySpace until it was dead, and then I didn't have Facebook for probably 6 years after that while it was around. So I was late on that. I was late on YouTube. Because I was putting videos on Facebook. And then TikTok came, and I was just kind of like, well, I mean, I don't really have time to sit there and look at a bunch of short videos. I'm always doing stuff. I'm making videos. And I guess I didn't realize that many people were actually using it. So I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see. Anyways, just letting y'all know that Facebook is pretty much going to be Reels. I'll be doing shorts on YouTube here, and then my long videos are pretty much going to be exclusively YouTube, because these other apps, man, I don't see a point. I'm noticing that I don't even like watching long videos on those apps. If I want to watch something that's longer than a couple minutes, I get on YouTube to watch something. So I'm going to move with kind of what I do, because it only makes sense to try to do that. Anyways, y'all have a good day. Appreciate you checking it out. Later.